Welcome to the Workamper Show, a podcast devoted to helping you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. I'm Steve Anderson, the president of Workamper News. Each one of our episodes will either introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to opportunities to work short-term jobs. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
Thanks, Steve. Today I'm interviewing a couple from Colorado who have been RVing part-time since 2002. They started with a pop-up, upgraded to a travel trailer, and even lived in a cabin for a while. But the freedom to travel proved to be strong, and they returned to RVing when COVID-19 caused job challenges for her and shut down a business he had owned for many years. This episode is sponsored by Workamper News. With its Diamond and Platinum membership tools, Workamper News is much more than just a job listing website. When you put the tools of this professional service into action, you'll find out just how easy it can be to turn your workamping dreams into reality. The one-year memberships open the door to a one-stop shop for all things workamping. Being the original resource for workamping, you'll find the largest number of job listings, be able to connect with the community of workampers, and peruse resources compiled by experts who've enjoyed the lifestyle for many years. Most Diamond and Platinum members receive inquiries from their online resumes within a day of being posted. The Workamper Experiences section has been piling up reviews from employers since 2007. Each archived issue of Workamper News magazine lists hundreds of jobs. Hotline jobs are emailed right to you for the states you're most interested in visiting. If you're serious about leading a successful and enjoyable workamping lifestyle, then a Diamond or Platinum membership is for you. You can even get started with a free 30-day trial by visiting www.workamper.com/trial. Embark on new adventures today with the support of Workamper News behind you. At the end of 2020, Duane and Jan Sawyer were dissatisfied with the direction their jobs were headed. Jan had worked as a supervisor for decades, but trying to manage people remotely in Zoom meetings just took the fun out of working. With the economy literally shut down for years, demand for screen-printed t-shirts evaporated for sports teams and special events. That caused Duane to shut down a business he had owned for many years. As all that drama was unfolding, Jan saw an ad for Workamper News, which enticed her to explore living and working on the road. When the Sawyers discovered workamping would allow them to work outdoors and still work with people without owning the place, they were sold. They've only had one workamping job so far, but it was a winner. They spent a summer at a campground in California along a river beneath giant redwood trees only a mile from the Pacific coast. Duane was on the campground's maintenance crew, and Jan worked in the camp store. They really didn't want a full-time job, and this opportunity only required 25 to 30 hours a week. That meant they had plenty of time to cruise up and down the coast. They spent some time in San Francisco, but mostly enjoyed beautiful scenery along the coast. The Sawyers described various tasks they performed at the campground and some interesting activities they enjoyed on their time off. When the season ended, Duane and Jan drove the long way back home while stopping at every national park they could find between California and Colorado. They liked the experience so much, they decided to sell their home and hit the road full-time this spring. We had some Zoom challenges on this call, which resulted in the audio sound cutting in and out in some parts of the interview. I've done my best to enhance the sound or edit out the pauses, but if it sounds like the audio just cuts out abruptly from time to time, you'll know why. To tell us more about their experiences and what led to their decision to jump into the RV lifestyle full-time, please welcome Duane and Jan Sawyer to the show. Thank you, Duane and Jan. I really appreciate the time. Tell me a little bit about yourself, like where you're from.
We live currently in Fort Collins, Colorado. Duane is a native Coloradoan, was born in Lamar, Colorado. I got here as soon as I could with my parents. So I consider myself a semi-native Coloradoan because I've been in the state since early elementary school. So
Okay. Where are you from originally?
Well, kind of all over. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
But my dad was actually with Department of the Interior, Bureau of Outdoor Recreation. And so he moved around quite a bit until he came to Colorado. And then after he got here, he turned down every promotion and transfer after that.
He fell in love with Colorado as well. It is a beautiful state,
Yes.
that's for sure. So
But she was sort of brought up with the traveling gene, I believe.
It's true.
and a love for national parks, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how long have you been RVing?
Well, when we met in
2002.
2002, and Jan had a pop-up. And after we got together, and got married, we traded the pop-up in for a 23-foot travel trailer that was pulled by too small of a car, a Dodge Durango. And we, camped around in it for a little while, and then we decided to build a cabin. We had a cabin for 12 years. And at some point, it was a little place in the middle. We need to find that place again. Somewhere in the middle of New Mexico, we were driving through, and we'd parked there, I think, to use the facilities, and there was nobody there, and it was out in the middle of nowhere. And we looked at each other and said, let's do this.
We want to hit the road.
Okay. Very good.
And we ended up, that was like, I think in the early fall
Of 19.
of 19. And in the spring of 20, we sold the cabin. And the day that a week after we signed the papers on the cabin, we bought a motorhome.
What kind did you find?
Never looked back.
What kind did you select?
Well, Jan is a researcher. She looked at and we also went to, 10 or 12 RV shows and walked through a bunch of them on lots. And she researched everything, and we read all the pros and cons about trailers versus motorhomes. And we ended up with a new
Jayco.
25.
Well, it was a Jayco 22J.
Yeah, 25-foot Class A or Class C motorhome.
Okay, that's a good size for a couple.
Yeah.
And why did
Until you try to live in it for 6 months.
Right.
So we now have a new motorhome, which maybe I'm jumping ahead of our story a little bit, but we enjoyed our first work camping job so much that we decided we want to do this, and we want to do it full time. So when we got back to Colorado in October, we traded in our Class C, and we now have a 30-foot Class A.
Okay, that 5 extra feet makes a difference?
Yes.
Yes,
And
okay.
the Class A gives you an extra, another few feet after that too.
Right.
So,
And why did you select a motorhome over at Fifth Wheel?
oh, various reasons. Mostly we're not pickup people. We just really don't like the idea of a pickup. And what we have now is a little Honda Fit, a 2017 Honda Fit that gets like 40 miles to the gallon. We pull behind the motorhome, and we can zip all over. We spent the summer in California on the coast, and we went up and down the coast in that little Honda Fit, and we still drive it all over the place. I mean, it's our car, and we also spent a summer watching people back fifth wheels and trailers into tight spots, and decided that the motorhomes are way easier.
I agree. That's right. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So, what attracted you to this lifestyle?
Freedom, being outdoors, and getting out of our 40-hour-a-week jobs. Duane owned his own business. I've been in supervisory management positions for decades. COVID really sort of did me in, being at home, working over Zoom for months and months and months and months and months and months and months. And then unfortunately, COVID killed Duane's business. So he shut his business down at the end of 2020. And it's just like we were done with that stress and responsibility and everything that you have in that type of 8 to 5, 5+ days a week job. And so we really wanted to get out of that. And when I was when he was getting ready to shut down his business and I was really feeling like I wanted to get out, I saw an ad in an RV magazine for Workamper news. And so I, looked at the ad, and then, as he said, I'm a researcher, I'm a Googler. So I went online and instantly got a membership with Workamper News, because the minute we started seeing what types of positions were available, it's like, oh my gosh, this is what we want to do. We want to get on the road. We want to be outdoors, and we don't want to run the place. We want to give everybody else a wonderful experience camping like we enjoy it, and it just seemed like the perfect fit for us.
Tell me.
I want to back up just a little. The part of the story that she skipped over was when we first bought our motorhome and we were camping locally, and we took it out every chance we could. We took a 3-week trip to Oregon and Washington, where her sister lives, and we had a blast. I mean, we just had a blast. And on the way back, the last place we stayed was in Colorado, and our next stop was home. And neither one of us wanted to come home. Oh my God, we were like beside ourselves because we didn't want to go home. We were trying to figure out how we could just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And we realized then that that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to keep traveling in that RV, and we did.
I've heard from
but that's what we did.
I've heard from a lot of people, Jan, that being a manager these days it's a head-butting experience, trying to corral everybody into doing things and people not showing up when they say they're going to show up and things like that. So I certainly understand where you're coming from for wanting to get out of that lifestyle. But Duane, what was your business that got shut down?
Well, I always say not quite so starving artist. I owned a screen printing shop that I was involved with it for like 42 years. I became an owner about a third of the way through. And I loved my job. It was a real opportunity for me to, be an artist somewhat and kind of be my own boss. And actually I enjoyed the heck out of it, but it was COVID just really shut it down. All the stuff that we did shirts for, they didn't do it that year. And
recreation leagues,
right.
College organizations, college teams, all of that.
Big events.
Also the arts. I was heavily into the arts.
Like the State Symphony and
and theater companies and all that stuff just stopped. Even restaurants stopped printing shirts. And I was also looking for a way out. One of the things that stopped, we had a plan that after we turned 65 and got on Medicare, because obviously health insurance was real important to us. That was our plan to, we had to wait till then. We just had to. A little more research, we found out we did, because we both did this and then turned 65. So we kind of jumped the gun by about almost a year.
Determined that I was going to wait and keep working until full retirement age for Social Security. And like I said, COVID changed a lot for us. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as I saw that ad for Workamping, I don't need to keep working this job. We can figure out health insurance and then we'll get going.
So did you get Social Security early?
No.
No? Okay.
We looked at all the options and decided, the heck with it. Let's go for it.
Let's go for it.
We decided that fear of not having enough, what are we going to do for health insurance? It's like we could have let all those things stop us. And instead we took the jump and everything worked out. We may end up being 95 and run out of money. And at that point, I don't care.
Right. So what work camping jobs have you worked?
Well, we've only done one so far.
Okay.
We spent the summer in Walla, California at the Walla River Redwood Park. It's about 3 hours north of San Francisco on the coast. It's like a mile from the coast in the redwoods on a river, and it's magnificent.
Really?
And and so it has about 120 sites, exactly. I think. And so we got there the middle of April, and Duane was on the maintenance crew, and I worked in the camp store. And I had the best job of anybody because I sold candy and ice cream to kids all summer long, in addition to camping supplies and other things that people needed. But so I worked in the camp store all summer, stocking, restocking, selling, that type of thing, and absolutely had a blast.
Was that a full-time job?
It was about 25 to 30 hours a week.
Exactly.
Okay.
We really didn't want to go straight into another 40-hour-a-week job. So we were looking for less than 40 hours a week.
Mm-hmm. So I would imagine that if you were only working 25 hours a week in the redwoods, you had plenty of time to play then in that area.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We certainly did.
What kinds of things did you get to do?
Oh, you mean on our off time? We
Yes.
drove up and down the coast. We went to we spent a couple of days in San Francisco. We never did go to a winery, although I don't drink. Jan kept saying, we need to stop there. We need to stop there. We didn't, because they're all over the place. The places are thick. But we went to every tourist attraction and found all the local restaurants that were open, and drove up and down the coast and had people come to visit us and took them to all the places up and down the coast and had a blast.
And sometimes just went in the evenings or afternoons after work and went down to the beach. And, we're landlocked Coloradoans. So part of the reason we chose to accept that job there in Wallala was because we could be on the ocean, which is something we don't do very often. And so just being able to get off work and run down and listen to the waves,
or just to sit in the redwoods
and have a campfire.
What was the term they used?
Forest bathing.
Forest bathing. Okay. And what was
just being in the redwoods? Oh, and we also spent time with our fellow work campers. And
we became a pretty tight group, and spent time once again just sitting around each other's campfires and laughing and talking and sharing our life stories, and I mean, we're still in touch with them. We figure we will be developing new friends for life by doing the work camping.
How many other work campers did you work with?
There were 5 couples.
Wow.
And the managing couple. So basically 6 couples.
How big was the park?
120
sites. Okay. Wow. That'll keep you busy. But neat. What kind of jobs did you do there? You worked in the candy store, or the camp store, right?
Camp store.
And Duane, what did you do?
Well, I did maintenance, which involved let's see. We cleaned bathrooms twice a day on the days we worked, although it wasn't every day, because different people sort of had different shifts. I mean, they had to work out the schedule, but on a normal day, we would meet at the bathrooms, which were right at the store, and clean them, which was
bathrooms and
showers, which was really easy, really, after you got used to it. And then we would go clean all the sites that all the people who left, which would be to empty the fire pits and rake around the edges and pick up all the trash, which sometimes was none and sometimes was a lot. And then we would and then sort of interspersed there, we would do all the maintenance stuff, which was all kinds of different
fixing
things.
Picnic tables,
fixing the electrical, fixing. We also did a lot of, we would wrap firewood, because we sold a lot of firewood. There were fires. Everybody had fires. We also sold, buckets of wood, big quantities of wood, firewood. We, some of the summer, we actually spent splitting wood, which was not normal, but that's the way it worked. I ran a honey wagon where we would dump tanks. But most of what my job was riding around in a golf cart and talking to campers. That's kind of what the main thrust of my job was, and which is very interesting for me, because I'm an introvert. I'm not really a gregarious person normally, but that's what we did. We went around and we talked to people. And most people were there because they loved the place. They were having a blast. And that's what we talked about. And a lot of people were interested in what I did. Why are you here? How are you? There were the allure of being a work camper is pretty strong for campers.
People would. They'd say, so do you live here all the time? And are you local? And I'd say, no, we're just work camping here for the summer. Oh my gosh, we've always talked that we want to do that. So, we would just direct them to work campers and just, highly encourage them to look into it.
So you guys did that from what, like April until mid-September? Yeah. Okay. And so then you came back to Colorado, but for a special purpose.
Well, actually, we didn't go directly home. We took a long way and stopped at about every
national park
between California and Colorado, and there was a bunch and had a blast doing that too. Yeah. But anyway, so we came back to Colorado and decided, after a little bit of research there too, we decided to sell our house, and that's what we're in the process of doing now. We're going to sell the house.
Okay. Wow. So when 2022 shows up, you are out of here. You're on the road full time. That's right. Yep. So you're going to have to go through the downsizing to take all of that stuff that you've accumulated over the years and toss it or compile it and try and make it work. Do you have children?
We do. I have 2 girls. Duane has 2 boys. They all live pretty close to here. But we know that, come back, sit in an RV park here, see the grandkids.
Our doctor's appointments, our dentist appointments.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Stuff like that. So we'll be back. And if there are special occasions that, we need to, like weddings and graduations and stuff like that. So far some of the family came and visited us. My son came and your daughter, they're already booked for our next job.
Do you have a job for next year?
Yes. We are working in a RV park 13 miles north of West Yellowstone.
Yes.
In Montana.
And then we went there several times together, but we haven't been up there for about 15 or more years. So 18, whatever. So we're really excited to get up and explore that area again.
Very good. So when do you have to report for that one?
May 1st.
May 1st? That should give you plenty of time to sell the house.
We're hoping.
Have you faced any challenges in your life on the road?
Knock on wood. Have not yet experienced anything like that. We know it's possible. And so we do have things like, Duane installed tire monitors on both RVs, and we really do the maintenance and stuff he does. We try to avoid them as much as possible. I mean, we've got funny stories. Oh my word. Driving through the thick smoke last summer of 19.
Yes. In Oregon,
Southern Oregon,
almost into Nevada.
What are some of the perks that you got to enjoy as work campers?
Oh, wow. Well, we had the park we were in only had electricity and water. But the sites we were in had sewer as well. So we had that. I mean, that was hookups. We also got free firewood, laundry. There was in the secret room, they had a big stand-up freezer, and we got a shelf in it. They gave us a pass to one of the local beaches.
Yes.
They gave us free ice cream all summer,
We had a lot of wonderful perks that the managers of the campground we worked at gave us.
We got the use of the golf carts on when we weren't working.
Yeah.
They were really available.
Yeah.
To ride around the park and do stuff. And then they took care of us. We had parties. Like they had a like you said, an opening day party after we got the opening weekend gone, and they broke out champagne, hors d'oeuvres around a campfire. We had all sorts of parties like that. Like, since we weren't going to be there for Halloween, in August there was a Friday the 13th party, so we had Halloween early. Costume party. They brought in fresh caught salmon, and we cooked that, and just all sorts of. They really took care of us well.
That's neat. When you said that you were going to West Yellowstone next year, what else is on your bucket list? Where else would you like to go?
How much time do you have? Got a list of places Blue Ridge Parkway. We've never been to Maine. In the South, we'd love to go to like the Florida Keys or the Gulf Coast, just places we've never gone before.
New places.
Very good. When you are looking for a job, are you finding an area that you want to visit and then finding a job that's in that area? Or do you look for a specific job and then go to that?
Oh, a little both.
Yeah, I'd say a little both. We do. Actually, we were talking to some folks in North Carolina on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And then when the offer came in for Yellowstone, we went ahead and accepted that. But I just knew that was an area that we'd probably enjoy, would be, in the Blue Ridge and the Shenandoah Valley there. So, yeah, we do a little bit by location, but we're also pretty picky. We read the Workamper reviews for places, and we really, really, really read the camper reviews for those campgrounds so that, we know that it's a good place, that they treat people well, both the guests and the work campers. And so that drives our direction a little bit.
That's a really good idea, because if you're reading the camper reviews, you understand what they expect when they're coming to stay there. So you can provide that kind of service.
Absolutely. And it also kind of gives us an insight into the culture in the campground too. If you're reading campground reviews that are saying things like, they don't keep it up well, or rudest people I've ever met.
Or the sort of the opposite, where all they're doing is keeping the dogs off the grass.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to spend my summer yelling at people for having their dogs.
Exactly. Do you have any advice you would give to people considering becoming a work camper?
One of the work camper reviews that we read early on that to me was very telling is one of the guys said, "Well, they were nice, but they would never listen to what you tell them to do." And I thought that was very telling, because being a work camper means that you aren't in charge of pretty much anything. You got to go with the flow. You've got to do what, is expected of you for that park. And, you're going to deal with all sorts of different people, and, wanting things to be a certain way is not going to happen. So I guess that's one of the biggest pieces of advice, is if you aren't okay with
not being in charge,
you really don't want to do this. Even being a manager, because basically the job is to take care of customers and make sure that they have a good experience.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, I really appreciate your time today and telling us this story. I'm glad your first work camping experience was so delightful that it's caused you to sell your house and hit the road full time. That's really encouraging to me.
It is to us too. As I told the managers we worked for this summer, they set the bar pretty darn high. Mm-hmm. So we've got pretty high expectations for where we go to work.
That's very good. Well, I wish you the best of luck in 2022 in Yellowstone, one of my favorite places to visit as well.
Thanks, Greg.
I'd like to thank Duane and Jan Sawyer for sharing their stories with us today. They certainly are passionate about the RV lifestyle. The work camping job they had at the RV park in California seemed ideally suited to their personalities and work interests. It came with some wonderful perks like free firewood, free ice cream, a shelf and a communal freezer, and a free pass to visit local beaches. In 2022, they've already lined up a new work camping job, this time in Montana at an RV park near West Yellowstone. That job will allow them to spend time in Wyoming and Yellowstone National Park. Duane describes steps they take to evaluate work camping jobs and ensure a position will be a good fit for them. One of the best pieces of advice Duane offered was the need to go with the flow and perform jobs the way owners and managers want them done. Work campers generally aren't in charge of the business. Consequently, their job is to simply take care of customers and make sure they're having a good time. It's too stressful for work campers to come into a business and try to change things to match their preferred way of doing something when they're only going to be at the job for a few months. I wish Duane and Jan Sawyer the best of luck as they sell their Colorado home and prepare for a summer of adventure in Montana. If you have an interesting story about work camping or RV travel experiences that you'd like to share with others, I'm looking for people to interview for upcoming podcast episodes. I'm also interested in talking to people who operate businesses from their RVs. All I need is about 30 to 40 minutes of your time to record the interview, and I'll even provide you with some questions to ponder in advance. If you're interested in learning more about being a podcast guest or scheduling time to be interviewed, please email me at podcast@workamper.com. Thanks for hanging in with me today and the technology challenges involved in this episode. Next week, I'll interview a couple who had some interesting jobs at an RV park. They sold Christmas trees and even worked in Alaska. I'll share their story in the next episode of The Workamper Show. Thank you for listening.